The Bible teaches that the husband is to lead in a marriage, and the wife is to submit to the leadership of the husband. But it's not just about submission. The husband and wife will not properly complement each other if the man is not living up to his end of the bargain. And in the Bible, there's a very high standard for men. There will be husbands who are as unimpressive as this king was, whose wives might submit to them. But those aren't happy and healthy marriages. A wife might submit because it's biblical, but just because you are willing to listen to what someone says, it doesn't mean that you have respect for that person. Because true respect is not about a person's position. It comes from being respectable and having character. And that's true in marriage. Men are called to lead in a marriage. But that leadership is meant to flow from a devotion to God and the pursuit of holiness. And the best treatment of that is found in Ephesians chapter 5. Husbands are called to make sacrifices for their wives and to love their wives unconditionally. Ephesians 5:25 says, "Husbands, love your wives as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her." That's a high standard. We're to love sacrificially. We're to put our wives ahead of ourselves. Husbands are called to pursue the sanctification and holiness of their wives. Verse 26, that he might sanctify her, having cleansed her by the washing of water with the word. You know, lots of guys say that they would die for their wives, but there aren't enough guys who live to see their wives be sanctified and growing in holiness. Men are called to love their wives as they love themselves, not just to be someone who lords over them. The Bible says husbands should love their wives as their own bodies. He who loves his wife loves himself. I think we can obviously see where the king got things wrong in this story. But men so often fail to live up, or even try to live up to what God calls us to in our role as husbands. We're called to take up our cross, to die to ourselves, to love sacrificially. And that's all hard. And certainly I don't want to be up here being holier than thou. Carrie will tell you, I'm very imperfect. Because what's easy for men to do is to fall into passivity and complacency. But that's not what God calls us to in his word.